What would you do if the person you loved most, the person carrying your future child, suddenly transformed into an abusive stranger before your very eyes? In today's story, the protagonist's journey through this nightmare is a masterclass in navigating unimaginable pain and reclaiming your life. My soon-to-be ex-wife, Chloe, and I had wanted kids for years. I'm 29, she's 28, and when she finally got pregnant last year, we were absolutely thrilled. From the very first day, I was committed to being the most supportive husband and father imaginable. It was a deeply personal mission for me. Chloe's father was never in her life. My own brother is a less than involved dad, and my old job as a tech in labor and delivery showed me firsthand the damage that an absent or unsupportive partner can cause. I swore I would never make those same mistakes. The problem was, just 4 weeks into her pregnancy, our dream began to curdle into a nightmare. It started with physical intimacy. First, she stopped wanting sex. Fair enough, I thought. Hormones, stress, it's a lot to deal with. I didn't push it for a second, but then it became any physical interaction. No more cuddling on the couch, no quick kisses goodbye in the morning. She grew more and more distant, building an invisible wall between us. Leo chalked it up to hormones, a common enough assumption. He couldn't possibly know that this was the first tremor of an earthquake that would shatter their entire world. Then came the food cravings, which turned into a weapon. She would be fixated on something all day, demanding I go out and get it for her. But the second I'd walk through the door with the specific meal she'd requested, she'd look at it with disgust and want something else entirely, screaming at me for getting it wrong. Again, I told myself it was just the hormonal roller coaster of pregnancy and I could handle it. She began to systematically cut me out of the experience. She refused to let me come to any of her doctor's appointments. I wasn't welcome in any of the pregnancy groups she joined. She started spending more and more time away from home. The distance turned into a deep, chilling coldness. She was constantly angry. Everything I did was wrong. And this simmering rage went on for months. Then, it escalated to physical violence. She assigned me dozens of little tasks throughout the day, and a couple of times, when I was exhausted and forgot one, she slapped me, hard, across the face. The shock was paralyzing. I just stood there, reminding myself over and over, this isn't her. This will all be worth it in the end. Meanwhile, she had stopped doing anything around the house a month into the pregnancy. I understood that moving around could be difficult, but by week 5, I was doing everything, all the cooking, all the cleaning, the laundry, everything. All of this while also being the primary source of income for our family. I was barely sleeping, running purely on fumes and the faint hope that my real wife would return. She made me sleep in the guest room and seemed to constantly try and pick fights, but I never once raised my voice or my hand to her. This act of physical violence was a line crossed from which there was no return. It revealed a chilling transformation, where the woman Leo loved was replaced by a stranger incapable of empathy, sealing the fate of their marriage. The ultimate rejection came with the baby preparations. She made it clear I was to have no say in anything. I couldn't suggest names. I couldn't help design the nursery. Nothing. I was being treated like an unwanted sperm donor, not a father. 1 month before she was due to deliver, it all came to a head. She screamed at me, her voice filled with venom, about how fucking useless I was and how I didn't do anything for her. Then she announced she was leaving to stay with her mother. She forbade me from getting her anything or even checking on her. She threatened me with a divorce and a restraining order if I so much as called her. As one online commenter astutely pointed out, what I was witnessing might have been more than just mood swings. They shared a story about seeing a young woman's personality completely shatter, leading to a psychiatric commitment. They said, only a professional trained in psychological illnesses can diagnose and treat complex and long-lasting issues such as this. They urged that if my wife was mentally ill, it was critical she be evaluated, as she could be a danger to the infant, herself, and everyone around her. Looking back, the signs were all there. A couple of weeks ago, the final blow landed, and it came from the last place I expected. I was scrolling through Facebook when a post stopped my heart. It was a birth announcement. My son, Chloe, was in the picture, beaming, holding our baby, surrounded by her mother and other family members. It absolutely broke me. After everything, after all the abuse and patience, I found out I was a father through a social media post. I drove to the hospital, desperate for a glimpse of my son. They had security escort me out. Chloe had apparently put me on a no-contact list. That was it. After months of her outright hatred and abuse, something inside me finally snapped. I was done. For all I knew, given her behavior, I wasn't even on the birth certificate. This single, callous act of public exclusion did more damage than months of private abuse. It was the final betrayal that severed the last thread of hope Leo was clinging to, catalyzing his pain into decisive, protective action. The moment I got home, I took action. I opened a new bank account and had my paychecks redirected there. I went to our joint account and withdrew my half. Chloe had never bought a single thing for the baby ahead of time, so I knew that money would be needed for supplies. And sure enough, she burned through her half in no time. I hired a lawyer. The house is in my name and was purchased with my money, so it's mine. I packed up all of her remaining belongings and had them sent to her mother's house. And I made my first official demand, a paternity test. I am not spending another cent or another ounce of emotional energy until I have verification that the child is my son. I am absolutely divorcing her. She chose the stay-at-home life, and if she cheated, she's on her own. Her mother has enough money to put her up for a few weeks, but not to support her and a baby full-time. Last week, my phone rang. It was Chloe. She was hyperventilating, crying, and begging to come home. She said it was all a mistake, that she wasn't with her mother anymore but at a friend's house. She wanted our son to have his father. The dam of my silence finally broke. I don't fucking believe he is my son, I told her, my voice cold. Why would you pull all of this if he is? I laid it out for her. Show me a paternity test that proves he's my son, and I will do everything in my power for him, and for him only. She wants to meet at a park tomorrow to talk. I agreed, but not for the reason she thinks. I agreed so I can finally say everything to her face that I should have said months ago. My parents are hoping we can work it out, though they understand why I won't. My sister thinks I should at least hear her out, but I've already made my decision. Many people online echoed my resolve. One commenter said, "Heck no, do not meet her at the park tomorrow. If she wants to meet you then it can be at your lawyer's office with your representative present and a conversation recorded." They advised me to save all communication, communicate only through a parenting app, and protect myself legally at every turn. That's exactly my plan. If he is my son, I will fight for my rights as a father to have a relationship with him. But the relationship with Chloe is over. This story is a stark reminder that you must protect your own well-being, even from the people you love, when they become a source of pain and abuse. Sometimes, the strongest act of love is for yourself. When a relationship becomes this toxic, especially with a child involved, is there ever a path back to reconciliation? Or is separation the only responsible choice? Share your thoughts in the comments below.